Hello and welcome to this week's live weekly warm-up. I'm starting just a couple minutes earlier than normal, but I'm just so excited to get into this. Happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day. It's fun. There's not a lot of holidays that fall on Mondays, but it's fun that we get to have this special holiday session. And as always, I have some good stuff planned for all of you. So today, what we're going to be doing is something I think I've talked a little bit about before, but I want to go more in depth with it. And it's something that is actually really a big struggle for me in my own technique and my own clarinet playing. And it has to do with the pinky keys, especially in the key of E major or B major or even F sharp major has the same problems where you have to be maneuvering those pinky keys all around, which can be really tricky because our pinkies, first of all, on the clarinet, weirdly enough, have to do a ton of work because there's all the different pinky keys to get around to. And the pinkies, along with the ring fingers, are really the weakest fingers on your hands. So it's maybe a design issue where the pinkies have to do so much work, but it's what we're stuck with, and it's something that we have to practice so that we can get comfortable developing that strength in the pinkies and getting really good at using them and making them nice and limber and strong. So the exercise that I'm doing is sort of an exercise that we've done before in the green scale patterns or the 1 to 5, 1 to 5, 1 to 9. But what we're going to do is just isolate the 1 to 5 bit from there. And we're going to specifically do it in the key of E major and B major because that's going to really work out the tricky bits of the pinkies. Let me go ahead and just start by demonstrating this, and then I'll talk about some of the things that I'm doing and some of the things that I'm thinking about as I'm doing this. And of course, I'm going to use my handy dandy metronome because it's important to play in time and be really rhythmically precise when you're doing technique stuff. I'm also going to stand up so that you can see my fingers really nice and clear. Great. So as you can see, I did that quite a few times because it wasn't great for quite a few of those times. There was some stuttering or some hesitation or my rhythm wasn't perfectly even, especially at the faster speed because my fingers weren't perfectly coordinated. And I spend lots of time in my practicing just repeating like those 5 notes over and over to really try to get this good coordination. So a couple things that I'm thinking about as I'm doing this. First of all, you notice that I was sort of going 2 different tempos. This is one of my favorite things to do with the metronome. Set it at like a neutral speed. So I was at 100, so it's not too fast, not too slow. And you can do it at eighth notes at 100 and then also 16th notes at 100, so that's double the speed. And it's a really great way to not have to fiddle with your metronome a whole bunch, but get faster repetitions and slower repetitions. On the slow ones, I'm thinking about really placing my fingers where I want them to be and having that really perfect finger precision. And then on the faster tempo, I'm trying to maintain all of that and stay really relaxed and see if I can have a really good, steady, clear notes and rhythm as it comes out at the faster speed. Now, as you could hear, my faster speed was much more inconsistent than the slower speed, and that's why I did much more repetitions at the slower speed to try to get everything really solid and steady, and then try it faster and sort of go back and forth so that everything is translating over and working out really nicely. A couple other things that you may have noticed is I did this in E major in the low register and B major in the higher register. It doesn't really make a difference. The reason why I do that is sometimes I just get bored of playing the low notes over and over. Sometimes I want to hear the higher notes and vice versa. It is good though to be comfortable sounding really great in both of those registers and getting the same good finger coordination. Sometimes hearing different notes might make your fingers do weird things, so you want to make sure that you're even across both of those, but across both of those you get the same finger action worked out. Another thing that you may have noticed is even on this 5-note exercise, I still isolated and worked on smaller sections. So when I was doing just the B, C sharp, D sharp back and forth just on those 3 notes to get that coordination really good. And then I also did just D sharp to E to make sure that that coordination is good. So even within just 5 notes, there's room for further isolation and really getting every single note connection exactly the way that I want. And that's the beauty of any technique exercise and really taking the time to warm up, is that you can go in depth. I'm not worried about what notes I'm playing because, of course, I'm really familiar with these notes because I've played this exercise a lot. But what I am worried about is, how is my finger moving? Is this ring finger and pinky finger as relaxed and natural as possible every time? Am I landing on the same parts of the keys every single time so that I can be really, really consistent? That's the thing that separates professionals and really great players from mediocre or just good players. Good players will sometimes get it and be really well coordinated. Professionals do it consistently and get it almost every time. Maybe 99% of the time it will be really smooth. And the only way to do that is by doing 99,000 repetitions of the same thing, trying to be as consistent and relaxed and effortless as possible. So I hope that was informative and gave you some ideas. I want to really challenge you to do this one this week. I think this is a great exercise that's beneficial for everyone struggling with pinky stuff. Don't feel like you need to go fast or anything at all. Just look in a mirror, see what's happening with your pinky keys, see what's happening with all the other fingers, making sure that you're keeping all of these covered. The longer tube notes where you have to cover all of these holes can sometimes, it's easy to get a little sneaky leakage and have some weird sounds happen. So keep all those covered and really see if you can get this independent pinky motion really relaxed, natural, and consistent. That's the key. So I hope this is helpful. Definitely leave a comment if you have any questions, if you have any suggestions for future warm-ups, and most importantly, let me know how this goes for you, how you like this exercise, and if it helps you to get really good, consistent pinky motion, finger motion, and master these actually more tricky key signatures of E major, B major, also F sharp major. All of these use this pinky combination. Even E major actually does towards the end of the scale. So this is a good one to master for all of those trickier keys. So thanks so much for watching. I look forward to hearing how this goes for you this week, and I'll see you next week in the next live weekly warm-up.